A doctor in Nova Scotia is trying to ease the confusion that comes when receiving a cancer diagnosis. So rather than just telling patients about their leukemia diagnosis, the Cellfie Project, so C-E-L-L, Cellfie, lets patients see the changes happening in their cells before and after treatment. Leukemia is the most frequently diagnosed cancer in Canadian children. Dr. David Conrad is the division head of hematopathology at the IWK Health Centre in Halifax, and he joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning.
So what led you to create the Cellfie Project?
I was approached by the pediatric hematology group at the IWK last May, and it was their idea or a patient's idea to come down to the lab and see their cells. So it was they asked me on a Monday, and I said, I'll be ready by Wednesday. Wednesday came along.
And Wednesday came along. So what did you think when you received that question? What went through your mind?
I thought about what it probably must be like to, hear you have cancer and be told that your treatment is working, you're in remission, and how I might be able to help that by showing proof of it, showing them the bad cells are there at the beginning and then the bad cells are gone after treatment. And it seems to have had the impact that I was hoping for.
So when a person with leukemia enters your lab, what does that experience look like now?
Well, now I outfit them with their own brand new white lab coat so they can be pathologists for the day with me. I buy some stuffed, like plush white blood cells from our local university bookstore, and one of my lab techs crochets white blood cells as well. So they get a few things to take home with them. We go through a presentation on PowerPoint, actually, where I've taken pictures of all of their own normal cells and abnormal cells, and I do a brief session where I explain what all the normal cells do, and that helps understand why they feel sick when those normal cells don't function well. And it's an opportunity for questions from the patient and their family. They get copies of all the pictures. I put those on a USB stick. That's, of course, the Cellfie stick. And they take all that home with them. And we finish off with a tour of the lab so they can, see what happens behind the scenes, what goes on behind a diagnosis and monitoring of a condition like leukemia.
What sort of questions do you get from the patients when they're going through this experience?
The questions are quite varied. I'll be honest, I've met some 8 and 9-year-old kids who would put the high school version of me to shame for how smart they are and how much science they already know. But, generally speaking, we talk about why does cancer happen? A bit of why me? And, can't always answer that particular question, but to talk about generally what changes in the body when there is a leukemia diagnosis and why that causes you to feel a certain way, why the drugs make you feel a certain way, and how they work. Those are most of the common themes that come from these talks.
And how are the patients and families reacting to visiting the lab?
It's universally positive. Often they ask, can we come back? And my answer is, I hope I never have a reason to see you again. I hope you never have a bone marrow or a blood sample with bad cells in it. But if for any reason you get the opportunity to come back, I would love to have you back. And I do know good word of mouth is how I get new customers. These patients, they talk about it with the other kids on the hematology inpatient floor, and it's a popular visit, it seems. So there's no shortage of interest.
I will say, speaking of word of mouth, that's how I heard about this from my cousin, Christine Sharon, who works at the IWK. So yeah, shout out to her for alerting us to this amazing concept. Dr. David Conrad, thank you.
And thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.